Hey guys, welcome back to Witch Baby Wednesdays. I am Darian. This is my channel, Darian Empire, and welcome. So, if you are here with your witchy curiosities and questions, I am here to answer them as I go through my own personal journey into witchcraft, coming from coaching and knowing about mysticism and the law of attraction into witchcraft. It's a fun little journey. Today I'm going to be talking about how to use spells for, that's right, you guessed it, manifesting. If you want to learn that, keep watching. All right, so if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I have taught for quite a few years about the law of attraction, how to manifest your desires into physical existence. I also go a lot deeper into not necessarily how to get more stuff, but how to realize better relationships, a better sense of yourself, and really manifest things like that. Manifest things that really, really matter. What joy looks like, following your dreams, things that truly, deeply matter to you. Not just necessarily getting money or a big house or, shoes and Chanel bags. Don't mind, my cat is running around like a crazy person right now. I should probably have shut my door, but I did not. So I think it would be a really fun video to show you guys how to use spells and kind of create your own spells to really kick up those manifestation skills. This is me just going to pretty much intuitively go through this. If you are a practicing witch yourself, I would love if you could share down below some tips and tricks that you might use. If you are a newbie witch, you could easily Google some of the herbs or colors or things that represent what you desire. I'm not going to go into like super specifics. But just overall, like how to manifest and use spells to do that. So the first thing you want to do is get really clear on what you want. So you could do that through spell work. You could ask for clarity through spell work. One of the things that I like to do when I'm preparing for my spells or for rituals or anything like that is I like to write down some of the spell work that I want to do. So I actually have a list in my grimoire of spells that I would like to do. I don't just, there's some spells that you can do easily, right? So if you're stuck in traffic and you want the traffic to shift really quickly, you could easily just shift your mindset, imagine the traffic moving quickly and everything be fine, give thanks for it, I did reboot my Freedom Friday video of how to instantly manifest anything you want. That formula still works. It will work with everything. But there are some other things that we kind of need to spend some time with. We kind of need to sit with them and understand, what do we really want? So sometimes even doing a spell to try to get clear on what we really want is a smart idea before we start trying to manifest things when we're not really clear. Because what will happen is, especially when you're doing a spell on something that you are not really clear about, you are materializing that which you're asking for. And if you aren't clear about what you're asking for, it's going to materialize in an unclear way or in a way that you don't actually want. So just be careful what you wish for, okay? Because when you do a spell especially, that is you putting more focus, more attention into the thing that you're asking for. So first and foremost, if you guys want to grab, honestly, like a pen and paper, first and foremost, you're going to want to get really, really clear. You can sit in meditation. You can ask for source to help you find clarity on what you desire. You can pick out the things that you know for sure you desire. Last week I was talking about the difference between generality and specificity. I love just saying it like that. Specificity. That's in A Course in Miracles. They say that word a lot. A Course in Miracles has a lot of really crazy words. But anywho, so you can say, okay, you know for sure that you want love, happiness, those things. So you can start off generally. What do I know for sure that I want? and then kind of work your way into the specifics of what that could look like. You also want to be in the flow of this or something better, right? So when you're asking for something in a spell and it's for manifestational purposes, you want to kind of say this or something better. I am open to whatever this vibrationally looks like to me, feels like to me. I'm opening up to it looking the way you, source, God, think it should look, or whatever your guides are, right? So number one is get really freaking clear about what you want before you go asking for it, okay? The next thing I would do is start to look up some of the herbs, some trinkets, some things, some colors that will represent those things. So for instance, instead of doing like a vision board, I would actually use spell ingredients, herbs. There are herbs that represent abundance if you're trying to bring money into your life. There are, whatever it feels, really do it intuitively. You might want to bring water in because if you want to bring a flow of cash flow into your life, you might want to use water in your spell. There's lots of different things that you could use, but definitely going online, maybe even just printing out pictures that represent what it is that you desire. There's also, let me show you this little box that I have. You could get a little box like this. You could collect some of those pictures and trinkets and herbs and things like that and put them in there, whatever is representative of your desire. Another thing that I would do is create an incantation. So essentially this is what you're going to say in the spell. It's sort of like, you've heard spells, they're sort of in poem form. They rhyme. There is a reason for them rhyming. They are methodical and rhythmic. When you do something in repetition and in rhythm, that's really important. So writing something, now this is all spell preparation, just so you know. We're not even into the spell yet. We're just doing spell preparation. So just understand that like the way I do my spells is I prepare, and I'm sure a lot of witches do it this way. It's not like, oh, I want this, let me just go ahead and do a spell. It kind of takes time to culminate and cultivate, like, what do I want? And starting to write down, like, what are some of the spells that I want to do? Starting to collect those trinkets. Those are actually manifestations. So you're getting prepared. It's like when Abe Hicks says you're getting ready to be ready to be ready to be ready, right? That's exactly what you're doing. You're preparing, you're starting to prepare the physical aspects. You're starting to fill in the grid, as also Abraham Hicks would say. So you're just starting to collect things that represent and embody the energy of what you're trying to bring in. When you do an incantation, now you could either find one online and look it up. There's plenty online. There really are. There's so many spells and so many resources online. Do I think that, have I yet to have seen a really powerful spell online? Not necessarily. You're probably gonna need to find that more in like a book, or make it yourself, or definitely when you make it yourself, tune into source and whatever goddess or gods or entities that you pray to or that you want to bring in. But you can definitely find something that's something, if it's something small, if you just want to like manifest, a couple $100 for the weekend or something, then you could definitely find something that you relate to, some sort of incantation and spell that you feel connected to. But here would be my advice. What I would do, and this is what I teach when I teach my clients in general how to manifest, and I teach them how to craft the perfect affirmation for themselves. It is all about how each word feels to you when you say it. So what I would do is I would actually sit in the vibration of the general feeling you want to feel. So let's say you want money, you want cash flow, feel the energy of cash flow, and try to find words that are in alignment with that feeling of that flow, right? That feeling of freedom or whatever that is to you, right? And when you're writing it, you're going to write it as if you're bringing it to you. So you would say something like, bring cash flow to me, or I am grateful for the cash flow in my life. Or you could call on water. So you could say, like the flow of a river, I ask for cash now. Like the flow of a river, I ask for cash now. That could be just one line. Or you would probably want to make it rhyme. Like the flow of a river, I ask for cash forever. Like the flow of a river, I ask for cash forever. Or whatever. And then you could take that and start to whittle it down, right? Now, I came up with that pretty quickly because I'm a songwriter, so I can come up with things like that quickly. You can just write, I want cash flow. I like the way that word feels. I want it to look this way. I want it to look that way. And then start to reread that and go, okay, what would it feel like if I actually had that? If it had already come to life, if the magic in my life had already happened. So now you're tuning into the magic, right? This is kind of getting complicated, right? This is why I love doing spell work, because you're not just going, oh, I want this. You're actually focusing, where is my vibration? Where can I find the words to perfectly encapsulate my desire? Because those words also encapsulate the energy of my desire. Then you are actually in the act of you writing your own spell and finding the trinkets and the herbs and the things that represent, and even the crystals or whatever that represent your desire. You are then attuning yourself to the energy of your desire, not even knowing it. I mean, I know it and now you know it, but without even trying to do it, you're actually attuning yourself to the desire, getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, as Apex says. All right, so you whittle down the feeling of your poem or your spell. You want to write it as if it is sure, right? So you end it with, so mote it be. I like to say, with a grateful heart, so mote it be. With a grateful heart, so mote it be. Because I want to appreciate the things that come to me. You want to look up a god or goddesses that represent the thing that you desire. So there are, I believe Corpia is for, Copia, is that her name? It comes from cornucopia. So Copia, I think, is goddess Copia. Is a goddess for abundance. There's lots of, I know the basil represents abundance. That's just some little tips, but you definitely want to look this up. But just understand that the entire act of preparing for the spell is you getting into alignment with your desire. So it's so much better than just visualizing one time. It's so much better than just writing down what you want one time. It's so much better than just speaking an affirmation. You're actually finding physical things that represent it. It's so much better. It's so much more intensified than just doing the typical manifestational work that I've been teaching for many years. That's very easy. Yes, you can manifest through that, but sometimes we want bigger things. Sometimes we want help on getting clear on what we desire. So you also want to look up maybe the colors that those things represent, light candles for that color. You know, I love creating spells on my own rather than doing other people's spells. Now, don't get me wrong, I have used other people's spells. There are some spells, because they're so old and so ancient, there is so much power in them that you don't really have to do much work. You also, something that I've learned in the spell work that I've done using other people's spells is you don't actually have to have much faith, which is a beautiful thing. And to quote the Bible, it's the faith of a mustard seed. It takes the faith of a mustard seed. So that scripture, essentially, it's been interpreted in many different ways, but essentially it says, all you need is the faith of a mustard seed and you can move mountains. The faith of a mustard seed. And I really, truly understand that now that I've been doing spell work, because I'm like, okay, I just did it and I don't know if it's gonna work. We'll see. And then all of a sudden it's like freaking magic. It just works. So understand that, and also just in the culmination of you creating a spell, just like I'm talking about right now, it helps you to get a relationship with yourself and your desires and how you like to do things in your style, you know? Witchcraft is really about finding your own way. It's really about being your own person and discovering things on your own. It's not so much about following the guidance of what somebody else tells you to do. Now, we can read plenty of books. There are plenty of resources out there. Most of the resources are going to be modern. Most of the resources are modern interpretations of witchcraft. And the older interpretations, like, a lot of there's plenty of names out there, but a lot of the older interpretations of witchcraft in previous times are from men. You don't see very many witchcraft books written by women there's none in ancient times, right? So, it's a little bit difficult to find that, but that's totally okay. We can still work it out. So now you've got your poem or your incantation. It's kind of like a prayer and an affirmation in one. You are not only asking for what you desire, you're also setting it in stone. So you're asking for it and you're saying, so mote it be. Okay? You're lighting the candle that represents the color of the thing that you desire. You have a representation of the things that you desire. If it's a car that you want, maybe you got like a little car, like a little Hot Wheels car, like it could be anything. It really, really could be. And you can really do whatever you want with it. Now, you could put it on the north altar because if you have separate altars, I would put it on maybe the north side of my altar, because that connects it with earth. Earth can help you to bring things into physical manifestation, right? You could plant things in your garden because that's sort of like planting the seeds. The sun feels very much like bringing things into fruition. I think that if you pray to the god and the goddess, the god aspect can help you manifest it. The goddess aspect can help you get into alignment with the vibration of it. So you can kind of call on those energies to help you bringing it in. So now you're prepared to do your spell. Doing it on something like a new moon would be wonderful if you want to bring it into fruition, if it's something that you want to actually manifest into your life. A lot of times we want to manifest something, but there's a lot of blocks. So we're going to need to clear those blocks. That's where we're going to want to be doing those on like a waning moon. The full moon is always a great time to do, whether you're doing manifestations or clearings. But the waning moon is a great time to release things. The waxing moon is a great time to build the things that you desire, right? So it really depends. And you want to get in tune with what you need. Do you need to clear things before you get the thing that you desire, or are you ready for the thing that you desire, right? Again, you might need to do a spell prior to that. I know this just feels like it's so complicated, but it's really a lot more fun and it's really a lot more powerful. And it's kind of you taking time with thinking about what you desire and not just being like, oh, I want $1 million because everybody else has $1 million, or not everybody else has $1 million, but everybody in manifestation world tells me I need to get $1 million and like I can have all the money I want. And like that's might not be your right now current desire. Like your right now current desire might be to feel worthy of $1 million. Do you know what I mean? So it's really going to be up to you to figure that out, and you connecting with source to figure that out. So then we're prepared to do our spell. It's witching hour. And we go, you can do a full-on ritual. You can cast a circle, do a full-on ritual, sit in a meditation, imagine. Really what you want to do is when you sit in the meditation before you do your spell is you want to visualize, conjure up the feelings, the energy of what it feels like to have the thing that you want. And when you speak that spell and you light that candle and you put your ingredients together, you are taking that energy and you are channeling it into the very thing. Maybe you're putting all of your ingredients into a bottle or into a mojo bag, which is just a little baggie of all your ingredients that's going to help you kind of manifest that thing. Maybe you're putting it into a box like this. It depends on what, it really feels to you. And then what I would do, so mote it be and so it is, you give your thanks, you know that it is done. And it takes the faith of a mustard seed to know that it is done, and that's it. What I would also do is, if this is something that you really want, if it's like a lifestyle change, if it's not just something you want to just bring in really quickly, maybe this is, I want to manifest money on a consistent basis, like I want to make, $10,000 a month or whatever. Like I want to be in the consistent cash flow, or it could even be, I want to be in the consistent feeling of abundance and worthiness, whatever. It doesn't have to be a necessarily physical manifestation. It could be just that energy. That is still a manifestation. Just know that. What I would do is maybe if you do this on a new moon or whatever, on every new moon or whatever feels best to you, I would come back to this. I would recharge this spell and the mojo bag and whatever it is that you're using. If it's something that you need to practice the vibration of it, like you are not really in alignment with it, I would do something like 9 days in a row of saying that spell over and over and over again. 3 days in a row of saying that spell over and over and over again at the same time of day or night, making it very rhythmic and methodical. Okay? That's important to do, not just for the spell work, but for your own vibration, right? Like when we train and discipline our body and our brain, it starts to create momentum. I would do something like that. I would recharge the spell every day for 3 days, 6 days, 9 days, 12 days, whatever feels good to you. Or you could even do from the new moon to the full moon and charge that spell every single day. And just make sure that you're not doing it because you don't believe it, but that you're doing it just because you are becoming the thing that you desire. And you're just charging and charging and charging and charging and charging and making it something that you practice. All right, so there's tons and tons and tons and tons of ways. Obviously, this is like, I just threw a whole bunch of crap at you for using spells to manifest the things that you desire. Of course, you can do it in the very traditional way. You could just make a focus wheel, you can make a focus wheel, you can make a vision board, you can do visualization work. This is for people who want to make it more fun, want to make it more interesting, and are really, really, really focused and serious. I don't want to say that people aren't serious about what they desire, but yeah, I'm going to say it. This is for the people that are really effing serious about what they desire. Really serious about it and really serious about their practice. And, I'm not saying that you have to be a witch or you have to do spell work, but when you're really serious about what you want to bring into your life, along with your spiritual practice and connecting with yourself and your own desires, you will do some form of ritualistic work. It doesn't have to be witchcraft in this particular way, but when you're really serious about, leading a spiritual life and materializing what you're in spiritual alignment with, that is a practice. That takes people being methodical and being self-disciplined and being really serious about what they desire. So if you're really serious about manifesting, you're going to do some form of ritualistic work. So that's all I got to say about that. Again, if you are a witch or whatever, you have some sort of ritualistic work or practice when you're using or doing manifestation work, I would love to hear what those practices are. I know I just kind of threw a whole bunch of things out there. I hope that I gave some tips that really meant something to you. I know that it was kind of all over the place, but I hope it helped you guys. Please let me know down below. Also, leave in the comments section any questions and curiosities you may have. In the coming weeks, I'm definitely going to be sharing some of these spells and rituals that I do. I know that you guys have been asking for that, so I am going to, it's really a matter of me shooting in a certain way, shooting the camera in a certain way, and that's really the struggle. Not that there's struggle, it's just going to take me a little bit of time to do videos like that. I also will be sharing my grimoire in the coming weeks. I'm still kind of working on that. It's a new grimoire and I have yet to do a protection spell on it and a blessing. So I want to do that before I do any sort of sharing of it. All right, guys. So Happy manifesting, happy spell creating. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Of course, let me know if there's any other videos that you would like me to do in the future. Make sure that you have subscribed to this channel and hit the bell for notifications. I also have some music that I'm going to be sharing very soon. I just wrote a new song. I wrote it on In Bulk, which was the latest Sabbath that I just celebrated, which is smack dab right in the middle between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And so that is what the song is about. It's called Winter, so I thought I would share that. That is it. Make sure you check out my tarot readings. And on Friday, I will have some new or old Freedom Friday videos that I will be rebooting. All right, guys, that was a whole bunch of mouthful. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, head on over to my Instagram to say hello, watch behind the scenes stuff, and check out any special announcements that I might have going on. Now, if you haven't already, head over and watch one of these awesome videos and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video, guys.
Feeling's gone and I am left alone with a trace of the night on the way back down from the sky where you left.